Hi guys, today we're back for another video. We're going to review Jarretman plays at 500 NL, so let's dive into the action. First in here, we free bet ace king against cutoff, which I assume is a weaker player. So we are going to have different strategy compared to if it's a recreational or reg. I think against a reg here, you can one for range or like 1/4 range, completely fine. It's not the exact recall strategy, but it's going to capture a big percentage of the EV. Against a reg here, I think I will size up a bit, probably do more like 8 or 9 blinds, so my sizing will be slightly higher against a recreational. I don't really like the one fair. I think you can do bigger, and I also expect regs to, that's a small detail, but that's really counts. I expect regs to be inelastic when you do like 6.9 or like 6.99, so you just take more in general, and especially on the flop because in the pot on the turn will be bigger. So when you do 3/4, it's actually bigger, and now it sounds not a huge difference, but if you do between 6.1 and 6.9, it's close to 1 blind, and on the turn in the river, it can really make a difference on your win rate. So I'll size up all the time against regs. If I play them like over and over, they can see it, so I will not do that. But now on the turn, I think you still have a bet with his king here. I'm probably gonna bet off spot, completely fine with the size, and again, if it's a reg, you just need to size up a bit. I don't like this sizing because here, what's important in these spots is you need to think in terms of what will be the calling range on the river when I do 22 or when I do 17. And I think for me, he will be committed the same way. I don't see him calling more when I do 22 on the river compared to when I do 17. So I just prefer to let him with more hands that call the turn and potentially call the river. Because here, if we lose the potentiality to be called by a queen and being called on the turn plus the river, it's going to be a bit sad. So I will prefer to size up a bit here. And I think we can even do 15, because when we do 15, the pot will be 60 and he will have less than 50. So I think it's enough to pot commit him, and I think when I do 15, he will call more, and so I'll prefer 17. And villain's call, and now we always have a jam, especially with the ace of diamonds, who are blocking potential bluffs by him, but even without, I'll jam too. We can think in these spots that it's important not to think binary, like jam or check. And in a lot of spots, especially against regs, it's great to size down like 20, 23 big blinds, but I don't think here's the case. I think you should just jam here. I don't see a recreational folding king 10, king jack that much in the spot. You can get called by ace queen, so yeah, monetary jam here. And I expect ends like deuces, potential sixes to just jam the turn often, so I'm fine with the line here. We open with jack 4 against big blind bets with a really good player. You have also CG at the table with a good player, and you have also Ojavel, who's a friend of mine, who is French. And on jack 7-3, I think it's a board where I should have a big end check here. I don't expect jack 4 to often be the big betting line, but I don't think it's that bad. I think it's okay. In general, you prefer hands that have like slightly more equity, and yes, you need to take like high-low hands like queen 4, this type of hand. I don't think you need to take jack 4 of clubs super often here, so I would have bet this at low frequency. Those polar bluff are important, but yeah, probably better to have a 6 like your more backdoor draws, and we got raise, and now we just need to fold. Especially not that bad, I think, if you play like 50 NL, 100 NL and less, because I don't expect big bet sizing to be raised enough by the pool, so the EV goes up slightly for me. That's why it's important in this type of spots to always ask you the question, where does the EV come from, because I think here it's okay. Queen 5 we're going to open. The pool doesn't look really great, but let's see. Ace queen 3 here. You have multiple strategy possible. Typically, it's a check, and you have 2 big size. You have a huge overbet, and you have like around 3/4 pot. I think as a human, it's better to play 2 options. So I will only bet the bigger size or the check. And here with queen 5, we have a pretty easy check. I mean, this hand will never be the betting line. I don't mind 1/3 range against the pool, because on this board, I don't think they call enough. Here it's a small trick, but if you go in the not log and you generate range betting for the in position player, out of position players to call some king x here now, maybe even some jack x that have to float small. I don't think something people do, so like it's okay to 1/3 range. Actually, if you play lower stakes, personally I just prefer to play pot or check here, and queen 5 is just a check here. Okay, check, the king off on the turn. Now the delay strategy will mainly be big bet or check. Pretty easy check here, I would say. And okay, and on the king, pretty easy check too. I don't think you value bet this end, so yeah, easy check here. That's super easy for out of position to on the bluff completely, because he needs to bluff the lower portion. I guess he has two sides here. He will have block, so just be careful against the pool here, because super easy to have any ace-6, any king that value bets and don't have the bluffing portion here, because they just don't think you will fold enough. So yeah, just be careful when you face the bets in position in this situation. We got a fast call from button, and the board is king, deuce. You can range bet this type of board, it's completely fine. Theoretically, I'm not saying it's not a range bet, but you should use more sizing. But if you only have like one sizing strat here, it's just completely fine. On the queen on the turn, I think this end might bet. I don't mind checking. I think betting is super OP here against the pool. I would have bet all the time. It's super tough for them to call enough on this turnout, so I'm completely fine with the bet, because he needs to find call with hands like tens, jacks that the pool is not ever finding, even if it's low frequency. Okay, if it's suited, we're going to free bets, and yeah, king jack is not open. Okay. And both ends will fold against 4 bets. Okay, king 8 off here, we open. Board is 9-5 deuce. It's a board where you are mainly going to check. You can play some big bet, I guess. Small and big as out of position. You don't lose any EV when you range check this type of board, so that's a strategy I prefer to use for also a lot of many reasons I will not detail in this video. And here facing bet, this end is mainly going to be a fold. Ace-9 off here, you can use big bets, tiny amount of small bet also. Here you can play this as a check or a bet. I think it's completely fine. On the turn 9 here, I don't think we have a bet with king 8. This end just doesn't have good properties to bet, so it's going to be mainly the checking line. But maybe we've heard sometimes, but not without. And yeah, it's check folding range on the turn. And now ace-9, I think this bet is a mistake. It's too loose. You can value bet lower ace-6, but actually not that much. Like if old Javel have like ace-5, he's playing the 5, split 4, split jack, split queen, and split king. So there are a lot of rivers where you're going to split against aces, and now you're going to give money to queen jack, h4, jack 4, queen 4, this type of hands. So I think you don't have enough equity to bet. That should not be that bad in theory. Like that should be an EV loss, but not that much, or like really tiny amount. But I think here ace-9 play better as a check here, and against your ace it's like always a fold. You have top pair, but you are draw that against the value region. You're pretty in the bottom. This is the bottom of your range. You have like way more other hands to call before this one, so that's super G4. And I don't even think the pool in 500 now. Just okay. And now with king 8 on the queen, again this will just be in the checking line. With king 8, nothing special. So we're on king 8-4. You can play range bet here. That's again not the typical strategy here. You should play with many other options. But if you range bet here, that's completely fine. But you should mix with checks here. Okay, on this 5. Now ace-8 is not strong enough to bet. The only sizing he wants to do here is betting 3/4 or overbets. The reason is because on these turn spots, the main sizing will be big, because most hands that don't want to overbet have higher incentives to check compared to choosing middle sizing for a lot of reasons. So you don't have that many hands that are worth one output bet. Like sometimes it will happen, but that will be rare here. So like ace-8 is always a check. I really appreciate Jarretman taking time to explain, and even take time is great, because sometimes you will have, I don't know, like king 9, and you might want to take a decision. So that's also great to time with this type of hands. Okay, ace-10-5 here. You can play huge small bet frequency. I don't mind having some checks here, but betting range is fine. On the left table, I didn't see what happened. But here on the river, I think ace-8 is the bottom of the value region here. Probably better to not have the ace of clubs. And Seri should bet a king often, block a jack super often. So, and he doesn't have like 9+ that much. So I think ace-8 is really the bottom, but should be value bet here. In theory, are really close. But I'm never value betting the threshold, except in 5 canal, because the reason is I don't expect high stakes reg. Like on 501 KNL to call in all the bottom region here is actually tough. Yeah, I don't think a lot of them are overcalling, but I think it's super easy to find a guy just not calling an out for X region, 5x like pocket juice type of hand. Okay, tenant we bet on the flop, now on the king, it's pretty easy check. You're going to bet again in bluff against like Jack X, Queen X. And you also need to bluff some like pocket deuce, pocket free, some 5x also to have enough bluff on some run out. And there's also other elements. And on the ace of clubs, now you just have a check, I guess. You don't bluff anything, so yeah, pretty easy check. The only move you can do in these spots where you end is a clear check is if you play lower stakes and you expect villains to bet too many a6, you just bluff your hands. Because if villain bet too much on the turn and is too tight on the rivers, then the EV of the bet will be higher than the check. That is probably the only scenarios when I will take the bet with 10-8 as a bluff here, because I will expect the EV of the bets of the bluff to be higher. But I don't think it's the case in 500 mil, so I would have only check this in. And facing overbets and pocket free here is pretty easy calling. Third, against a7 deuce shouldn't be range bet at this position, but if he's range betting, that's fine. We can find some raises with this type of hand. That should be like bet around like 60, between 50 and 80. And now with 10-8, this is an interesting sizing. I think it's a really good sizing. Well, with the a6 region here, he has enough equity to overbet. So he should have probably two size men. He should have 3/4 and overbet here in theory. But I can be wrong. Of course, I didn't check this in before. And now with 10-8, so theoretically it's never going to be a bluff. You just don't bluff this type of hand. I think the 8 of spade is okay compared to other shoots because you unblock more the weaker calling region on the flop, like I don't know, jack 8, like 8-9 that's going to play the check and overbet. But I don't think you should take 10-8. Like you have pretty other hands here to bluff with, so never going to bluff that. Also the 8 is blocking the ace 8 fold, so yeah, it's just always a fold. And pocket free here. On the 10, villain should mainly overbet, and pocket free is always in the muck. And yeah, this is not really a good sizing. Like it's not that bad to have two size, but I expect most players here to have the leak of being unbalanced on turn bet sizing and just 3/4 the weaker region and not put enough strong hand in the 3/4. So yeah, I don't think this size is great. I should mainly overbet. And here on 9-7-5, so that's not really a good board for you. You should play with mainly small and check here, and it's completely fine to check with jack 9, and yeah, pocket free is always full. And on the queen, now expect to have, so turn delay are really difficult because sometimes you just have force sizing, and that's a nightmare to construct a good strategy. But I see, like, I at least expect a big bet here, and you might play intermediate sizing like upwards sometimes, so probably 2 size or 3 size with the 3/4. 6-5 you can 3-bet low frequency, but it's meaningful, and I'm fine with the check with jack 9. And on the jack now we are going to bet big, and again you have probably 2 sides on the jack. You will have 3/4 in overbets for sure, and with jack 9 I think this hand is great in the 3/4. I'll not put that in the big bet saving. And he bet half. You can just do 3/4. I don't think half exists that much here because the ends that are great enough to bet half pot are also great enough to bet 3/4. So like you don't have that many incentives to bet this size. And 3/4 is better, I think. Okay, jack 10 here. We call a free bet from the big blind. Definitely standard. This is a fold if you play lower stakes. Like if you play 20 NL against most guys are not going to free bet enough from the big blind, so this is just a fold. So it's really important not to focus on charts blindly and just think about where does the EV come from. So I will call here in zone 500, but not in lower stakes. Facing this size, we have a call. You can even bet smaller here. I can bet 10% pot here, but on this board here, the theoretical strategy is difficult to execute because you can have 10%, you can have 20, you can have probably 1/3. Half pot is not that bad, even if I don't think it makes that much sense, but you can bet also the bigger sizing on the double board because they're actually quite dynamic. So yeah, probably a lot of sizing here. I will expect less big bet size when it's the ace naked. Like you will have more big bets when it's ace of clubs, queen of spade. But anyway, we're going to call with jack 10. And now on the turn, that's a really good sizing. I really like it. I think theoretically the main strat is betting big or check here. Like it's not a card where you should have some 1/3. Like if the body is ace 6-4 queen, I'm fine. But on this turn, like the main sizing should be polar. But I don't think it's a bad sizing. It's really difficult to defend enough. And if you don't know the trickle strategy against this size, you're gonna do a lot of mistakes. And you also need to raise some pocket pair against this sizing. Some like third pairs and fourth pair. I don't think the pool is raising enough, and I don't think that in 500NL, 110L people are raising enough. And even if they are raising enough, if you play the stakes, I don't think it's so yeah. And with jack 10 is default here, nothing to do. and you have like way more better range to call or to raise. Like a 6 is better because you have more outs against the value region. The value region can have like aces and queens, but it's just better to have a 6. Like you have a removal effect and you have 5 outs against top pair. Okay, here we have 8 4 suited. We decided to call. Okay, flop he check back, so that's the board. We should probably play 3 sides here. You can have 1/3 and you can have check, but check is fine here. And on the 6 of spade, I think the same is a check. I don't see any reason to bet this type of hands. Like usually they're pretty bad because now when villain check back queen, for example, or even jacks, she plays a lot of outs. Play 2 jacks, she plays jacks, 6 queens. There's a lot of rivers where you can't really value bet this type of hand. So I don't mind betting. I don't think it's bad, but I think checking is really really cool option with 2 pairs here. I think it's the main trick option, so I really like it. And now against 1/3 delay, I think you can raise this hand all the time. Again, it's not that great, but like in the pool, there's no way you're not ahead 99% of the time here. I'm fine with the raise. 6-7 here, facing more blind open. We decided to check the flop. It's gonna be a mix here. I don't know the exact frequency, but it should be close to 50-50, I think. Probably 60-40, but yeah, there should be a mix here. Definitely more bets with the diamonds because you have more equity. Blockers don't draw, etc. You also have a blocker on the runouts. Like there will be less bad runout for you. Okay, and now on the turn we hit a 7. He bets half pots. I think it's okay. Again, it's really tough to be sure of what the strategy are in the spots. I think half pot is fine. I can maybe see some 1/3 in position. Half pot is fine here. On 7, you will also have a big bet sizing strategy also. Probably 2 sides. And on the king here, we snap check, and I think it's fine. Again, if you play lower stakes, given the fact that most players will never have really strong hands that you call, like they're probably capped at like king 7, king 5. Even it sounds dumb against the pool, against some guys. Now with 6-7, you just need to bet 50 because they just overfold way too much. And the of the bet when we bet this type of sizing will be higher than the of the check, but in 500 now we will not do this type of strategy. Okay, ace queen off here. We decided to open. The board is 8-4-3. We're going to bet small here. Bet big should be okay, even if I mainly expect small bet here. And the ace queen always a check. I don't mind betting small too. Should be okay. And now yeah, we're going to call. Okay, on the turn we're going to call again. And 10-9 here, we decided to overbet. I don't mind. I think you have better EV in the checking line with 10-9 for many reasons. So we call button against cutoffs because when you call, you have more realization in the checking line. Like your 10 and your 9 are like better out what you check. And yeah, I think you have just those hands to bluff. So theoretically, it should be a check, and you're going to bluff all the combos. Also, you isolate yourself against some flash draws, and I prefer to check you with 10-9. But I don't mind it, so I think it's okay. And now with his queen. Oh wow, we fold. No, I don't like the fold. I think you should call the time. Like a reg is fine enough, like 1 spade end. So I don't know if it's a misclick or not, but yeah, I mean it should really be a call. Yeah, I mean this should really be a call. That's a clear mistake here. Okay, with the 9. Okay, so that's not GTR oriented. I don't mind. Just need to be great. We don't have that many bluff in our passive region. It's not that easy for him to call. I will not all in, but honestly as a pool, I kind of like it. So yeah, I'm going to move. And he doesn't have that many forex himself, so yeah, I would have gone more for this type of size here. I think it's completely fine. And we got snap call by Juicy, so he also lost less when he has set. Terrible play by this other guy. I mean, it's not that bad, but like pre-flop, I don't think it's winning as an open. And he's cut off. Yeah, it should be a 4, but it's not that bad. I think on a flop, like he should really raise all the time. I mean, if he thinks that the population is not calling enough to check raise, I'm okay. I still think it's a lot of scenarios would just be higher EV to raise. Honestly, I don't mind. I expect to pass. It's not that terrible. Queen 8 off here, we're mainly going to call. Okay, on this flop, I should play super high frequency check with only small bet, low frequency, and we should play half pot 1/3 here. I'm fine between with Queen 8. It will be a mix anyway. Overbet on the king. I don't think you use overbet here. I think the main size is 3/4 with your hand. Even theoretically, I don't think you should use overbet as much. I think it's okay, but it's gonna be close. And here, when you overbet with Queen 8, we expect fold from like pocket 8, pocket 9, pocket 10, pocket jacks, pocket queen region, and it's going to be tough for him to defend enough. We fixed them. What the fuck? Okay, I didn't see the end. So we open, bet small on the flop. We're to range check out of position, but like you can bet a lot of top position. It's also great. On the 5, we decided to bet again on the turn. I think it's a bit loose. If you expect too many folds from pocket pairs, not enough raise. On the 10, we used the super trick of the fake inducing, and that didn't work, unfortunately. So what is the fake inducing? Is you bet one blind to let think your opponent that you want to get a raise, while actually you just don't want to get raised. So that's the fake inducing. That's not working that much, but I believe these players being recreational, I think it's okay, but I'm not sure to call against the raise. So if I know I'm going to bet fold, I probably prefer not induce. Prefer to not induce here and just check. And we don't have that many equity to value bet here, so I prefer to check. And yeah, facing raise, I just think we need to fold, unfortunately, because it's so easy for him to just call one blinds with like the pocket pair region. He has all the 8 regions now. I think it's just always like I think you lose like a J on the mouse when you do this move. Like if you have specific reads on behind, it's great, but otherwise you will see that the call is losing all the time here. We lose because as I say, there are like many reasons why they're not bluffing the one blind enough. Is because it's super easy for them to just click the call button. I mean, it's only one blind, super comfortable. So the raise will be less used. And the other reason is because on this type of spots, the ends that are going to bluff raise, or like that counter frames, or like that makes sense for the rec to bluff raise, are just not there. Like you will have probably 6-7 sometimes, but like he needs to call 7-9 on the flop. Not every recreational players are doing this. Same, I think when he has like his queen with clubs, for example, like he can just use it mainly as a call. So you can play on the spots where like you just give 14 blinds often because you just don't have bluffs. And here I don't think the average reg is just bluffing enough. So I would have check and fold against the bet. Also, I have a general rules that you can use in your game. If you tank in the spots and you arrive with the 5 last seconds with tie bank, you always fold. The reason is because I note in the past years close to all my spots where I call in the last 5 seconds, and all the call was just bad. So I believe basically we can assume that when we go to the last 5 seconds, the EV will be close between like winning a bit and losing a lot, because if it was called was really plus EV in average would have called before. So I'll always fold now. I have a protocol with myself, like I just can't call, and I'm forced to do this fold because I know it's just not the plus EV option here. Okay, and left table here we have ace-4 off. We call the big bets, it's fine. Now on the 6 you don't have leads, especially your hands, there's going to be a check. And then it goes check. I don't think this 4 is strong enough to value bet. If you do an entire tree, it should be okay to bet super small, like 10% pot. And yeah, even directly you probably have like 2 or 3 sides here, so it's too soon to value bet. Okay, things in pot. Oh, it's a bit awful. So I don't know with this player. I will not tell you what I think is the best move against him. But yeah, that's tough. And again, when I'm not sure, the line is a bit uncertain. Like I don't see a lot of players play this way. I will prefer the fold option here. And yeah, bluffing in spots requires a lot of creativity that I don't think a lot of players have. But again, I will not tell what's fully my action against this specific player. So yeah, and he had a jack-8 for the straight. The king queen suited here. I expect he doesn't think about jamming. Oh, okay. Oh wow, that's wild. So of course, this play is always based on assumption, and you just need to have an amount of certainty that is high enough that your assumptions are correct, and that makes the EV of the 5-bet higher than the call and higher than the fold. And I'm close to never do this because you need an amount of certainty in what he's 4-betting. It is so high that I will not do that, because the extra money you win in case you're correct is not that high. Yeah, I'm probably better to do that with like a pocket pair, so I'll prefer the lower pocket pair region. So I'll take pocket 5, pocket 6, 7 to do this move, but like king queen is just for me it's a punt. But I don't have access to the information that Jarretman have, so maybe he has good reason, but as I explain why I will not do this move, so for me it's just a punt. Okay, pocket 3 here with this side to call. Board is staying 6-4. Sin is probably close to always a check, and on the right table we can call. So we check and turn against big bet sizing. This is always a fold. That's a really bad end to call. We have only 2 outs against evaluation, so like any 4 and 6 is way better than pocket 3s. Just always a fold. Okay, pocket 4 here on jack 10-7. We check. You can check the sense, completely fine. And on the ace on the turn, I expect the sense to be great as a bet, and sizing wise will be 3/4. king 10 here, we decided to bet 1/3 on 993, so we should mix on this board. It's not a range bet. It's not a range bet for 1/3. Having still fine to range bet against most players, especially if you play lower stakes. I would say in like 1k, 2k, 5k to find more the aggressive raise, but I would still fine. Okay, pocket kings here, we decided to 4 bets. Completely fine. Sizing is fine. If you play deeper, you can 4 bet a bit bigger. It doesn't change that much. Okay, on the flop, we are mainly going to bet here. You can bet probably bigger, but that's fine. That's a strat I will use. Okay, on the jack, you should play close to geometric here. Probably size a bit bigger compared to the geometric sizing, but again, I won't explain why it takes a lot of time. So yeah, I will do this type of size. I probably do big bigger, like 50, but that's fine. And I've done fold, I guess, because of the timing of the video. So hope you enjoyed this review. So what I thought about Jarretman play, definitely some stuff to improve, but he's really solid. All of the best content YouTube you can find for the game. So yeah, he's really good. There's a lot of like nice move, I think. Yeah, completely like most of his decisions. So that's a good note for Jarretman. Okay, see you guys. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe, watch the description, etc. And see you next time. Bye.